Yeah, on a personal level, super happy for AB. Just one first and foremost, maybe most importantly, one of the greatest humans. Like, woo, off the charts, makes me emotional.
Okay, coach, you signed a couple players on the hardship. It's a lot of mental gymnastics when it comes to new pieces coming in. And after the break, how has that adjustment been for the team?
Yeah, I'm proud of the point guards. It's not on top of it, it's not the easiest position to be a hardship. And as you're the quarterback out there and you're calling a lot of plays. So, proud of Crystal, getting through her 7 days and now has been signed to a hardship for the rest of the season, and then Odyssey joining us. So our two point guards right now with Ari and Leja out, and Julie out for the season. It's very unusual situation to have hardship point guards leading your team, but they're really easy to coach. I've had a history before with Odyssey and Connecticut on the same kind of situation. So I know they're both really professional and have had successful runs in this league. And they've really fit in and fit into what we're trying to do culture wise as much as anything. So, but it's been a year and a half of unbelievable amounts of injuries and illness, but I've shared, through the last few weeks on how, positive they stayed focused on what we're really trying to do. And that's the building pieces and the little things, and not get caught up with the losses, because they can be discouraging. But there's a lot of encouraging, positive moments in our franchise. Know that we're in a build, and know there's a big picture down the road.
When it comes to the Washington Mystics, they pretty much have the same story in that first half of the year with injuries and all of that. But what have you seen from their grit? And I know the wins haven't totaled up a lot, but what have you seen from their grit and what stands out for them, especially in the defensive end?
Yeah, I have great respect for the organization. Obviously, Mike and I had, a tremendous history of battles together, including, that 19 championship series. But Mike always made me better as a coach, as a first-time head coach in this league in Connecticut. We have a lot of the same philosophies. When you watch Eric's team play, and then you watch our team, we have so many what I call the same buckets. We have some of the same philosophy defensively. We have the same philosophy offensively. We're skinning the cat with different personnel, but our teams mirror each other in a lot of ways, because we have a lot of same philosophies. And what I see is a really, really well-coached team that is in every game. It's uncanny how much I watch them, and they put themselves in position to win every game. It's been daunting for them with the amount of injuries, and the musical chairs that they're juggling on who's available and who's not. So I think it's a true credit to the job Eric's done on putting them in position to be successful. Their grit, as you mentioned, is on display on a nightly basis. They play really hard. It's an identity. I love I love their roster makeup. I think they've done a lot of things that you would want to do in a build. They have a lot of young pieces. They're going to have a lot of cap flexibility in the years to come. So I just give them a lot of credit, and we lean on each other because it's not we're in a business to win. We're in a business where we're judged on winning, but behind the scenes, coach to coach, when you watch teams play, just great admiration of what Eric's doing, and doesn't get the credit because the wins aren't there of the job he's doing.
Coach, I got two for you. One about the game and one totally random.
Sure.
First one on the game, Alana Beard is getting inducted into the Mystics Hall of Fame tonight. I know you coached her and coached against her, so just curious kind of what your reaction is to her getting inducted and being able to be here for you.
Yeah, on a personal level, super happy for AB. Just one first and foremost, maybe most importantly, one of the greatest humans. Like, woo, off the charts, makes me emotional. She meant so much to the game, because of the person she is. And I'm not where I'm at without that first year experience in LA. I transitioned from the collegiate game. Brian Agler gave me an unbelievable opportunity. But when I walked in that locker room, we had Candace Parker and Alana Beard and Nneka Ogwumike and Christy Tolliver and Tamika Johnson and Jantel Lavender. And it was a star-studded locker room that had no reason to like listen to who's this, like spent majority of my career at Bowling Green and had a short cup of coffee at Indiana. They didn't, they were championship built, learning from one of the great all-time coaches in our league, and Brian. But it was AB who led the charge that made my transition personally in the league, easy. She was so easy to coach. The leadership that she showed by example on how professional she came every day to work, and then her work ethic. Her defensive ability is second to none. She should always be mentioned in this league as one of the premier all-time defenders. And then she wasn't afraid of the big moments. We can document throughout her career some really big shots in her career that she made offensively when her calling card was really at the defensive end. But man, she holds a special place in my heart.
Take you back to on this, when you were in training camp this year, you had Kenzie Forbes, and you mentioned in passing in one of your media availabilities that you went against Carrie Moore when she was a player, and you were at Bowling Green. I covered the Ivy League in the winter, so just curious what you remember about going against Carrie when she was a player.
Yeah, my days at Bowling Green, those 11 years were real fond, and it's very similar to what I'm going through. I inherited a program rich in tradition that had fallen on hard times. Welcome to LA. Rich tradition program that's fallen on hard times. It took us a couple years to rebuild in Bowling Green. By year 3, we had won 20 plus games. And then my last 8 years there, we won the regular season title for 8 straight years. That's a lot of different recruiting classes and a lot of different people flowing through there. But we created the culture off the floor as much in the locker room as anything. And it's sustained success. And that's what my career has been about. I'm really proud. The number one WNBA statistic that I'm proud of is for 6 years, from 17 to 22, we won the most games in the league in the regular season, and we won most playoff games. Now, I'd like to win game 5 in 19 and game 5 in other years, but really proud of the sustained success. So fondly, really loved my time at Bowling Green. It was a really special place to coach women's basketball, a really special nugget off the beaten path in rural Northwest Ohio, but a really special place to coach women's basketball, really supported. This October, I'm going back to who I believe was the best player during our tenure in Bowling Green history, to watch Allie Mann go into the Hall of Fame. Allie Mann and Carrie Moore shared Player of the Year honors their senior year in the league, and that was when Carrie led the nation in scoring. So, how does someone that leads the entire nation in scoring not get Player of the Year? Well, we had a really special player too, and that was a year that we took Bowling Green to our first Sweet 16 and thought we were going to the Final Four that year. That's how special that group was. So fondly look back on that. Carrie was one of the best to play in the MAC. Again, for someone at the mid-major to lead the entire nation in scoring just tells you what kind of competitor, what kind of player she was, and now you're seeing it as a leader of Harvard. Yeah. Anyone online? I'm sorry. Yep.
What catches your eye when you're watching and scouting Alana Edwards?
Everything I saw in the draft preparations. She is pro ready. She's got a great motor that has to be talked about first and foremost on every scouting report, because you've got to match her motor and energy, or she's going to hurt you in transition. She's going to hurt you in on the offensive glass. She's going to hurt you and rip and drives to the right if you're not ready. So I just love her. One of the best draft interviews I've had. She's a really, really special player coming from UConn. She's pro ready. I look forward to seeing, how high and how much she can continue to improve. But she's a special person, again, first and foremost, and that's who you win with in this league. But her motor makes her special. I think Washington's got a special one there.
What's different about their draft interview?
Aaliyah, just the maturity. Again, I don't know how else to put it other than you walk away talking to her and go, she's pro ready. Like you could fill a room up and people might argue what her full ceiling is from GM to GM, head coach to head coach, but there's not one person in that room, if you filled with head coaches and GMs, that didn't think she was pro ready. Yeah. Good. Awesome. Thank you. Emotional. I'm tired. AB gets me emotional.